Hey, welcome back. It's Mickey, and I am chatting with you live from my treehouse. It is summer. It's a wonderful time I have the sun shining in, and it is probably 95 degrees outside. It's super warm, which is how I like it. And I wanted to take a little time to hang out with you on all the prosperity lessons that you're learning. So, one of the things that I talk a lot about, but again, is what's the real work. And again, I am a financial strategist. I go to work just like you do. I have a hard job. I have to use my mind. That I have the same, very similar life, right? That we all got to make a living. We all got to do all this stuff. And yet, right, how do I feel about that? And how do we really prioritize our own energy and our own work and kind of what is here? And in prosperity mindset, again, prosperity is the ability to magnify, and you'll want to magnify right from something I call the pixel, but like that one spot that illuminates the rest of your life. So that is really the kind of the on switch to the rest of the picture. And one of the things that I really talk a lot about is discernment and kind of layers of learning. So today I really want to talk about your life's work, not just a life of work. And your career, for some people, look, it's compelling, it's important. It is what leads the food train around here. I have to make a living, you have to make a living, and we want to be paid well. We want to be paid well for that. But when we retire, which I see a lot of people who've retired, you have to have had meaning. You have to have meaning in your life that is above and beyond your contribution to a life of work. So when we all get kind of caught up in the hustle of our career, and we forget to ask ourselves a lot of times these deeper questions, like, what are we doing? Or like, why can't we feel good about what we're doing? Or the amount of people who are disconnected from their own personal well-being and their role in their job is pretty darn high. So, the first question I ask people is like, how do you feel about your work? How do you feel about yourself? Are you aligned in those? Is it fulfilling? Is it joyful? And like, step back and really take a look at this, because, we're going to have a conversation around energy, specifically your energy, and the fact that is your most valuable resource, is your energy. And it's not about like, how much do you have? And we've talked about life force energy, like how much is even available in the day. But it's really how you choose to spend it. Every single one of your thoughts and your emotions and your actions, it's an investment. And are you investing in the things that really matter to you? Or are you letting your energy kind of leak into things that don't serve you or you're not proud of? And so that's the thing where I go, look, energy is a big deal. And it's not just energy like you have to get out there and do stuff. It is your emotions. These are cultivation things that we have to really look at. Practicing emotions that are of service to you, like gratitude or joy. I prefer awe. And sometimes people are just stuck in these patterns of worry, frustration, anger, and those are sometimes addictions. Sometimes we're addicted to being mad about something. I just want to be hot about something. And a lot of times when people are addicted to being angry, they're addicted also to not solving their internal conflict. So that might be a truth bomb for some of you, is that when you look at people that are really angry, they are not synergistically living with solving their internal dialogue of conflict. So when you're thinking about your energy, you got to think about your emotions. You got to think about your time. You got to think about your perspective. And when you're thinking about time, right, it's also about this relationship to distraction and the relationship you have to your obligations that are supposed to be in your schedule. So sometimes people put in everyone else's obligations before their own, and that is needed at some point, but not all the time. And your perspective, right? Your perspective is really a big deal, because a lot of people are focused on what's missing and not really focused on what's here. And that's a big one, right? So when you're looking at investing your energy, it's also your perspective that you're bringing in. And then the last one is your commitment, right? Are you committed to things that really matter to you? And or are you just, going through the motions? Discernment is the next thing we're going to talk about, but discernment, you can't mail that stuff in. You cannot ever hide the fact that you haven't done the work, because every person who has done the work, I will tell you, I can sniff it out a mile away. I know when I am talking to someone, when I shake their hand, I'll know within about 30 seconds if they've solved the inner conflicts that are there. So don't think for 1 second that discernment or doing the work of who are you, right? What's your truth? If you haven't done that work, it shows to everyone who has done that work. So don't think you can mail it in. You can't mail in discernment. And discernment is that ability to separate what's meaningful and what's not. It's the ability to focus on things that align with your truth and let go of what doesn't. And I will tell you, that is not easy work. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes mindful isolation. And when we look at discernment, it is taking thoughts, actions, experiences, right? Knowledge. It's taking all of those things and then sorting it. It's measuring it out. It's identifying. One of the other things that you've heard me talk about a lot is like, where is your resistance, right? Discernment is about like when all of those pieces of resistance comes in, that you will, take a minute, knock, knock, look within. Why is this bugging me? Why is this bugging me? And then solving it. Because, when you look at people that I hang with, and you're probably, you're one of them, you're listening. So when you look at people that I hang with, these are high achievers. These are people who can do a lot of things. And these are people who have great capacity. And I will tell you, the smarter you are and the bigger that you can play, the more you can stuff. And the more craziness you can tell in the story, and the more you can lie to yourself that it's not important. And that's not true. Everyone has to come to the quietness of discernment, and that requires your thoughts. It requires you to reflect deeply. It requires you to ask hard questions to yourself. You have to peel back the layers of the noise and distraction and come back to what is the real you. And that is about finding the very base of what is your undeniable truth. No one gets to their undeniable truth, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, all of it. No one gets in the wholeness of themselves. And what is that undeniable truth without slogging into some pretty deep weeds? So I'm telling you, it's not glamorous work. And it's not something you can just like check off your to-do list in 10 minutes. But what your payoff is clarity, it's alignment, it's agility, and it is your ability to invest in ways that truly matter. So when you're starting to look at discernment, it is peeling back all the noise and distraction and getting clear with you, and then working out all of these little knick-knack pieces that sort of drop in on our table of life from the past that go, oh, hey, this is an unresolved item. This is unresolved. The higher you are as an achiever, I guarantee you, the more you've stuffed. So there's work to be done. You can't buy your way out of it. You can't medicate your way out of it. You have to actually carve out some time and turn off your phone and be with yourself, and be with yourself to ask yourself different questions. Like, where do I want to invest in my energy? You may want to just resolve, like, what am I even doing with my time? What do I need to let go of? And what are the truths that are magnifying in my life? And when you look at those truths, sometimes those truths is that you're worried about balancing all this other stuff. And that you're worried about, career, family, all this responsibility. And it's really hard to balance all of that stuff and make space. And so you have to make space for your own needs and still show up for the world around you. Man, that ain't slim pickings. Okay? That is the magical journey. Right? How can I do all of the things that I want to do? How do I think about my own thoughts and build a career and have a family and? You have to set some boundaries. You have to practice discernment, and you have to embrace the bigger picture. And that's really what I'm offering, right? Is the bigger picture actually of what are you doing? The bigger picture is like, take the zoom out and look at the bigger picture. And you have to prioritize your mindset about that bigger picture. You ain't doing it just for you sometimes. Sometimes you're doing it for everybody around you. But that's not the point of life. The point of life is that, yes, they are part of the picture, but the picture's for you. It's for you. Your life isn't for anybody else. It is only for you. Your lessons in this life are important to you. And that is your life's work. Your career is great. Your career is great. And that's part of what you've been doing here. But again, all of these things that happen for you, all of the way that you're putting your energy is for you. It is for your alignment with your truth and creating a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. And that doesn't mean it's not without difficulties or pop-ups of things that are going to make you crazy. Those are still there. But again, you've got to focus in for yourself and bring it back. Bring it back to where it should be, which is that this life and the work you do in this life is for and about you. How are you feeling about it? Are you in alignment? And, are you taking actions on your truth? And are you creating the life that you want? And in that discernment, you will find that there's a minute available for your energy to shift. There's a minute in your life to make an investment that's not about your jobs and your skills and your network, but it is prioritizing these other things, like your personal truth, like your emotions, like your unsolved mysteries, like, the mindset that you come to this with, how you come in to discernment, your perspective, your emotions, your time, your commitment, how you come in. Wow, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So your energy is your most valuable resource. And again, every episode, every day, every episode of your life is a day. I hope it's the episode you wanted. So I love to hear what you have to say. And again, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for being even willing to consider that investing in you will allow you to showcase and magnify in a world that also opens the door for other people. You don't have to do it for them. You have to do it for you. They will find the door by you being you, not by you teaching them the door. You just have to be you authentically and do the work. And man, it gets good. Okay. Well, big hugs to you. Thanks for showing up, and I'll see you soon. Bye.